Hello, my name is Anna, and today I want to tell you a very special story about my day. It was not just an ordinary day, it was a day that I had been waiting for, a day when I finally visited the Pyramids of Giza. Remember, friends, if you want to improve your English, just listen and repeat. Listen carefully, repeat many times, and soon the words will feel natural. It really works. I woke up early in the morning. The sun was just rising, and the sky looked soft and golden. I stretched my arms and smiled. Today is the big day, I said to myself. I quickly went to wash my face and brush my teeth. The water was cool, and it made me feel fresh and awake. After that, I went to the kitchen. My mother had prepared breakfast: bread, cheese, and a cup of hot tea. I sat with my family and told them how excited I was. My father smiled and said, "Anna, take many pictures. The pyramids are amazing." My little brother laughed and said, "Bring me a souvenir." When breakfast was finished, I packed my small bag. Inside my bag, I put my phone, my camera, a bottle of water, and a notebook. I like writing about my day, so I always carry a notebook. I wore a comfortable outfit: jeans, a light shirt, and a hat to protect me from the sun. At 9 a.m., I was ready. I said goodbye to my family, and my best friend, Lila, came to pick me up. She was just as excited as I was. Together, we took a taxi to Giza. The ride was full of energy. We talked, laughed, and looked out the window. The streets were busy, full of cars, people, and sounds. I saw shops selling fruits, small cafes, and children playing near their houses. Cairo was alive, and I loved it. As we got closer to Giza, the city noise became less, and suddenly, in the distance, I saw something that made my heart jump. "Look, Lila, look!" I shouted. The top of the Great Pyramid was visible on the horizon. It was so big, even from far away. Lila smiled. "Anna, we are really going there. Can you believe it?" I could not believe it myself. For years, I had studied the pyramids in books, seen them in pictures and videos, but now I was about to see them with my own eyes. When we arrived, the driver stopped near the entrance. We got out of the car, and I stood still for a moment. The pyramids were right in front of me. They were huge, ancient, and mysterious. The desert sand was golden, and the air was dry and warm. My heart was beating fast. This was the beginning of a day I would never forget. We walked around, taking photos and listening to Omar's stories. He explained about the tombs, the treasures, and the belief in life after death. I imagined the pharaohs, their golden crowns, and the ceremonies of the past. "Now," Omar said, "we will walk to the Sphinx." Lila and I followed the group. The sand crunched under our shoes, and the heat of the sun touched our faces. After a short walk, I stopped suddenly. Oh my God, look! There it was, the Sphinx, a giant statue with the body of a lion and the face of a man. It looked mysterious and proud, standing guard over the desert. "It is amazing," Omar explained. "The Sphinx is believed to represent King Khafre. It is more than 70 meters long and 20 meters high. For thousands of years, it has protected the pyramids." I felt goosebumps. Staring at the Sphinx, I tried to imagine how it looked thousands of years ago, freshly built, painted in colors. I could almost hear the voices of ancient priests and the sounds of ceremonies. Some local vendors came near. "Postcards, souvenirs, water, water," they called. I smiled politely and bought a small pyramid keychain. "This will remind me of today forever." Lila and I laughed as we took photos, even trying funny selfies with the pyramids in the background. The day felt like magic. Omar gathered us one last time. "Remember," he said, "the pyramids are not just stones. They are messages from the past, telling us about life, death, and the greatness of human civilization." I whispered to Lila, "This is not just a trip. It feels like a lesson about life itself." She nodded. "Yes, Anna. Today, history became real." After walking around the Great Pyramid and visiting the Sphinx, Lila and I felt a little tired. The sun was slowly moving down, painting the sky in soft orange and pink. We sat on a large rock, facing the pyramids. The view was so magical, I almost could not believe it was real. I opened my notebook and wrote, "Today, I touched history. The pyramids are not only stones, they are voices from the past. They tell stories of kings, workers, and dreams." Lila leaned on my shoulder and smiled. She said, "Anna, do you realize that thousands of years ago, people stood exactly where we are standing now? They looked at these pyramids just like us." I nodded, and for a moment I felt very small, but at the same time, deeply connected to something greater than myself. I whispered softly, "This is amazing. I will never forget this day." Nearby, I saw children riding camels, their laughter carried by the warm desert breeze. When I closed my eyes, it felt like listening to a song of the desert, gentle, timeless, and full of life. As the sun touched the horizon, Lila and I took our last photos. I opened my arms wide, almost as if I was hugging the pyramids, and said, "This is the best souvenir ever." Soon, our taxi arrived. On the way back, I watched as the city lights of Cairo began to shine. The Nile River reflected the golden lights like a moving painting. When I reached home, my mother greeted me with a warm smile. "Welcome back, Anna. Tell me everything." I hugged her tightly and said, "It was unbelievable, Mom. I felt like I traveled back in time." Later that night, I sat at my desk and continued writing. I described the giant stones, the mysterious smile of the Sphinx, and the golden sunset. I wanted to capture every detail, every sound, every feeling. Before going to sleep, I looked again at the photos on my phone. There I was, smiling in front of one of the greatest wonders of the world. I whispered to myself, "Dreams do come true." The last words I wrote in my notebook were, "Today I learned that history is alive. You just need to be there to hear it." And with that thought, I closed my eyes and drifted into a peaceful sleep, already dreaming of my next adventure.